Good day. Welcome to another edition of Industry Visions. My name is Allyn Mark, your host. Industry Visions broadcasts the lofty endeavors of American industry that benefit humanity around the world. Our story today begins back in 1990, when a father and son had a vision of establishing an environmental company that would haul hazardous substances across the Detroit River between Windsor and Detroit by barge. Little did they know then that their 2,000-year-old ferry boat technology would be the centerpiece of the industrial green revolution and an integral part of logistics between the United States and Canada. So very glad to have with us today Gregg Ward, of course, the founder of the Detroit-Windsor truck ferry. Gregg, welcome to Industry
Hello,
Visions.
Allyn. Hello.
Nice having you with us. Gregg, could you relive that day on Earth Day back in 1990 when you and your dad had the vision of this company?
Absolutely. Thank you. The company was established to transport hazardous materials and oversized cargoes across the Detroit River. The Detroit-Windsor corridor is the busiest corridor in North America for the transportation of commercial vehicles, the Ambassador Bridge being the primary crossing. Certain products are restricted from that crossing, being hazardous material and the very large trucks. And that's what we came in and we saw a market opportunity to service those vehicles. And so we started this service. It's a very simple technology. Trucks drive on a barge, they go 20 minutes across the river, and they save millions of miles a year by avoiding the detour. For instance, the hazmat trucks, their alternative would be 165 miles. So every truck that crosses with the ferry would save 165 miles. The very large trucks we transport would have to go around the Great Lakes and cross at the land border in Minnesota, Ontario, which could be 3,000 to 4,000 miles. So it was a very simple concept, and it is a very simple business, but important.
Gregg, who are some of the customers that use the Detroit-Windsor truck ferry?
We're very fortunate to have the major automotive manufacturers, Ford, GM, Chrysler, Honda, Toyota, their suppliers, Honeywell, General Chemical, BASF, and even Hiram Walker's whiskey in bulk form is considered hazardous material.
Gregg, I know that you guys played a very critical role in the aftermath of 9/11 when all of a sudden everything was shut down, coast to coast. Relive, if you will, what happened during that time and how the Detroit-Windsor truck ferry played a critical role in the industrial manufacturing sector in this part of the country.
On that very tragic day, the border shut down. There were 14-mile backups at the bridge, which is very difficult for our industry because it's a just-in-time industry that it may have a 20-minute window of where products have to get to a plant. Otherwise, if they don't get to a plant shuts down. We changed from our role of being this hazmat, oversized, overweight crossing to we became a conduit for critical freight, and we worked with the auto manufacturers. If a plant was going to shut down, we prioritized that freight, we brought it to the front of the line, we got it across the border, and we kept many plants open. In fact, General Motors' president stated after 9/11 that it was because of the truck ferry that the Hamtramck assembly plant was able to remain in operation, which kept 3,400 people working.
I know another critical part, especially in this weather that we have in this part of the country up here, is, of course, the critical lifting need that you have on the ferry. Would you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. We have a barge system, and it feeds into a ramp when it gets to the shore, and that ramp barge connection is what is critical for getting our trucks on and off. We've chosen Harrington hoist to operate our ramp mechanism, and we are in a very harsh environment. We have very severe winters. We're next to a steel plant, so we have a lot of grit, a lot of dust in our area, and we have found that we have great reliability with the Harrington hoist in all weather conditions. And I mean, we have extreme ice, extreme wind, extreme weather, and the Harrington hoist has consistently serviced us. We can't have a breakdown. As I said earlier, these trucks are on very short delivery schedules, and that has to be available for us every single day, and we have found that with the Harrington product.
Well, Gregg, it was just terrific having you with us here on Industry Visions. Really appreciate your interview today.
And thank you to Harrington for sharing our story on Industry Visions.
So nice having you with us. Till next time, for Industry Visions, Allyn Mark, goodbye.